I'm okay. I just smoked another to the face, yeah. She wanna stay. Singing to your bitch like I was Drake, yeah.
Don't just try to tell me you love me. Can't keep it real if you really don't trust me. Come with a real, you here been a front, so you get my meals. I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Come on with a dank, scrolling a tank, rolling with the gang. You sitting out on the sideline tripping, I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin.
Yeah. I'm okay.
What up and welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights live on WoodwardSports.com. I'm your boy Easy, joined my guys Primo Rax.
What up, though?
Young Chris, JB Smooth. The Detroit Lions play tonight. Primetime television on ESPN and Chill 7 for
Are you ready for some football?
a Monday night party! Live. I think 8:15.
8:15, yeah.
Getting the dub. We talked about it last week. The Lions getting the dub. Obviously, we started a little bit late, so I'm sorry. I apologize for skipping the pleasantries. But if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe, 5-star review on all podcast platforms. But we're here to talk about the Detroit Lions. Briefly, I will mention though the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah.
On looking like a different team.
Shout out to Kool-Aid for hooking us all up with tickets. Our guy Kool-Aid, Detroit Kool-Aid, hooked all the boys up with some tickets for the season opener, opener. Sorry, and we all went there, courtesy of him. So it was awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to Detroit Kool-Aid for hooking us up.
Boys is balling.
Yeah,
out there.
shit was fun, man.
It's crazy. It took me like 2 days to like just process, or like I still honestly haven't even processed it. Like what we're witnessing. It's been so long, but like Jalen Duren might be him.
He could be him.
And it just feels crazy to say because
He is him.
Because Cade is already
Yes.
him. So I was like, do the Pistons have two hims right
Couple
now?
of Himothies.
Are they hemming right now?
Batman and
Are the
Batman.
boys hemming, bro?
Batman and Batman.
Honest to God, I mean, is that what we're
The
witnessing?
hymns are everywhere.
By the way, Detroit parlay all day tonight if you want to. All day tonight makes zero sense.
Equinox.
But it is a sports equinox. You got the Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Pistons, and the Detroit Lions all playing tonight. I locked it in $3 just to be safe.
I feel like you have to just cause.
Right?
Like, just cause. I feel like it's something you should
Listen,
do.
if you got bread like that, $313. I don't. I put $3.13. I'm gonna win 40
There you go.
something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
If
win
you
40
got bread
something.
like that, hit me up on Cash
I
App.
actually like this parlay though. I mean, the one I'm least
Put a
informed on,
five
honestly, is
spot
the
on
Red Wings. What do you make of their matchup tonight? Just real quick for the Detroit
I mean, the
parlay.
Islanders are a good team, but it's a winnable game. They're coming off a couple bad losses, so I think they'll be ready to go out there and give them their best.
Hoping Breakcat's feeling a little bit better too. I know he's got the flu lately, or went down with the flu. What up, Chris?
Quickly before we get to Lions, because you brought up the Batman thing with Duren and Asar.
Batman
And that's
and
been the conversation I've been having all week. Is that we have two Robins, like two. I'm very confident Duren and Asar.
Yeah.
Like they both look like absolute Robins to Cade's Batman.
Whoa.
And
Duren might not be a Robin, bro.
Yeah.
Relax. This
We
kid's
might have Batman and
19
Batman.
right now. Is he leading the league in rebounds, if I'm not mistaken?
He is leading
the league in rebounds.
Yep.
He might be leading them in blocks too. No, because Chat had like 5 just in one night. But I don't want to call him a Robin.
I mean, but Cade's still Batman. Like
Cade's for sure
you see
Batman.
what
He's the
you
Cade
see what he's
Crusader.
doing.
Absolutely. He's saving Gotham City. But like, Duren looks like he may be of that
Duren's a
elk.
beast.
He's 19
He
years
very
old.
well could. He's still very young. Man's making plays. Man's doing things. It's a lot of fun to watch. So I'm excited for the Pistons. But it's Monday night. The Lions play.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
know, but come on.
We're talking fucking Lions. We only got like 40 minutes.
What? What about him?
What about them?
They're mopping him up.
What about them? NFC's open.
It is. Kirk
I don't know
Cousins.
if you noticed, but the NFC don't look too hot. AFC looked like they came back to control over
Listen.
the past weekend. You know, other than that Kelsey Merchant, you know, Bieniemy creation, Patrick Mahomes looking like a bum. No, I'm just kidding. But
Yeah.
he had a bad game.
Crazy.
He had a bad game.
Yeah,
They
he did.
lost to the lowly Broncos. It's embarrassing.
Yes.
He's nothing without Eric Bieniemy. He is nothing but a Travis Kelsey Merchant.
You're doing it again. You just apologize for it just to do it all over again.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but he
Mitch
is a
Trubisky
Kelsey
in the
Merchant.
flesh.
The AFC looks pretty damn good. The NFC looks wide open. A lot of guys, obviously the Eagles still got their dub, but the Vikings lose Kirk Cousins for the year.
Yeah.
They're talking about trading for Jameis Winston. We'll see what happens there.
Yeah.
Seattle looks pretty good, and they just got better, bringing in Leonard Williams.
I was gonna say like the NFC. We've been teasing the past 2 weeks. Detroit Lions could definitely land the number 1 overall seed. I feel like for a majority of the part, they just have to take care of business because all the teams on their slate are just that. We have one other tough one that is kind of still a take care of business type of matchup against the Chargers because they haven't been hot, and then I think there's one more Cowboys towards the end of the year. But outside that, Detroit Lions, the number 1 seed's right there. But I mean, the Seattle Seahawks, they've been balling. They've been whooping our ass the past couple of years, and they just added Leonard Williams to that mix. And they're also in charge of that. They're in the lead of the NFC West right now.
Yes, they are. If the Lions want to compete with the Eagles and the Seattle Seahawks, they got to go out there. They got to make a trade. They got to bring in a name. They got to bring this year. If they want to compete this year, you got to bring in somebody to bolster your roster.
I'm with you. And by the way, it's crazy. I love the NFL. And then for one of these very reasons, right? Like, we've been looking at the Eagles schedule. We look at the 49ers schedule to like make the case for Detroit Lions, like number one overall seed. But now it's come to, you just mentioned the team, the Seattle Seahawks, added Leonard Williams. I look at the rest of their schedule now too, Spinny. They got the Ravens coming up, the Commanders, the 49ers, Rams. They might end up with the number C. I mean, they're in there too.
They got a pretty damn good. They got a pretty damn good team, and you still can't sleep on the Niners. I know they lost 3 straight. Brock Purdy's looking like mid, but you know they're going to get Trent Williams
He's
back.
Up that golf elk.
They're going to get Trent Williams back. They're going to get Debo back, and they're still a good team.
Yeah, they're definitely still a good team. I'll tell you what, though, Steve Wilkes as their defensive coordinator is
not working out too well.
It's crazy though because they were phenomenal the first like 5 weeks, and he just fell off a cliff somewhere. I don't know what the hell happened. It blows my mind.
It's a Monday night party.
They got Greenlaw back, and they got worse. I mean, I don't understand that, but I'm sorry for Detroit Lions. Like I said, I think they can win the number one seed. It was just
they can. There's a chance.
Crazy.
Obviously, it's up for grabs. You look at the teams going for it now. It is the Lions, the Seahawks, the Eagles, the Cowboys. Like there are still some good teams in the race, but the Lions have one of the most favorable schedules in the division, in the conference.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see what can happen.
Hey, Christy, I know you put your hand up a couple times. What did you want to say?
I just wanted to speak to the Brock Purdy point. That's what I was gonna when we talk about the NFC being open as a whole, and Brock Purdy has not looked great the last couple weeks. He's thrown some like not just picks, but like some awful passes.
Yeah,
and so I'm wondering, you know, is San Francisco really as that was the team I was the most scared of? Are they really as viable a threat as we thought? Or are we watching a collapse? Like Philly's obviously still there. Like there's like you said, there's a lot of teams that could still contend. But at the end of the day, this is open for the Lions, man. It feels like even after the Baltimore game, it just feels like things are still continuing to open up for the Lions and opportunities are still presenting themselves in favor of the Lions.
1,000,000%, and to be honest with you, like it starts tonight. I mean, they have to go out there, and you got home field advantage. It's not like that type 100%, but I'm 100% I agree with you. Like it starts tonight though. They have to go and take care of business. They got the Raiders in town. The Raiders are in town after getting their asses whooped by the Chicago Bears. That's an embarrassing team to lose to. I know it was Brian Hoyer that was in charge, but you guys, you watch the trend, and if you follow this show, we do the pick'ems. That's how I pick the game sometimes.
Yeah.
If a team got their ass kicked the week previously, the coaches were on their ass.
The Lions got their ass kicked last week too.
I know. I'm not. How about this?
You scared of the Raiders?
No. I think. I'll say this though. I can see them covering. I don't think it'd be as much of a slacking as like it's supposed to be or should be because of all the extra motivation going into it. But you're 100% right. The Detroit Lions have the same motivation.
They're just as much motivation as the Raiders do. Amon-Ra St. Brown is playing in this game. We'll get into the full injury report later, but that is a big boost for the Detroit Lions. Because I understand what you're saying. Like the Raiders still have playmakers over there. They still got Devontae Adams. They still got Josh Jacobs. They still got Max Crosby, Jacoby Myers. Like there's not a team full of bums. So they've got studs. So anything can happen. But I'm still pretty confident in the Lions that they're going to get this dub.
Yeah, I'm definitely confident the Detroit Lions get the dub. I mean, if you want to just jump to a little bit of the breakdown right away, we got 4 minutes. We'll tease it a little bit. But I definitely have my reasons why I think the Detroit Lions get the W tonight. The Raiders just aren't a great team, essentially, is what it can come down to. We got a couple numbers to go along with that one. Before we move into, like, full Detroit Lions slate, we got 4 minutes to spare this rest of this topic. I want to talk about Francis Ngannou real quick. Francis Ngannou fought this week against the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, the linear champion of the world, meaning who holds every single heavyweight title, if I'm not mistaken, for Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
And he won that fight. I watched it. You saw Roy Jones Jr. hit Twitter afterwards. He said he won the fight. I didn't get to hear Mike Tyson or anyone like that, but a majority of anyone who watched that fight knew that Francis won. At the same time, though, I guess we should have known there was no way in hell if it went to the decision that they were going to let Francis win.
Yeah, they're not giving it to Francis. Boxing would never do that. Boxing is always rigged, but Francis held his own, man. He knocked him down. He was out there. Yeah. You know, Tyson was hitting him with illegal elbows, trying to run takedowns on him and shit.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's boxing for you, though, man.
And then I'm not the first one to say it either, but I just want to go ahead and single cam me for this one, Chris. I'll clip this myself if I have to, but I just want to declare from this moment on, boxing is not a sport. It's not, and I don't mean it like this is fighting, not that type of way. It's just not a fucking sport. It's not a sport when somebody can, you see time and time after again, somebody outperform the other person in the ring with them, and then they just don't walk away with the win. It's a crooked. I was gonna say it's a crooked sport, but again, it's not a sport. It's a spectacle at this point. Mm-hmm. You just sign up to watch the fights. I'm no longer betting on boxing. I'm no longer allowing myself to get emotionally involved in boxing. It's just garbage. It's not a sport. To watch that fight, and France not walk away with the W. On top of just every other situation we walked away and witnessed that too beforehand, I don't know why I let myself to fall back in a trap every single time. Boxing, retired.
That's why boxing's dead.
Up.
That's why boxing's dead. This is why people don't watch boxing. This is why the youth is more involved in UFC than they are boxing. Because shit like this consistently happens. Mm-hmm. It's fixed. They're rigging fights. No matter what's going to happen, like we said, if it was going to decision, Tyson was going to win. It doesn't matter. So, it is what it is. But get your shit together, boxing, if you want to be treated like an actual sport.
Couple shout-outs. Shout out to Coach Eric Nixick. Shout out to Coach Dewey Cooper. Shout out to Markel Martin. All guys that helped and supported and did interviews with me on my way up towards sports broadcasting. All coaches affiliated and agents for Francis Ngannou. It's also when I texted Eric, he's Sean Strickland's coach too. But I texted him bullshit, about the decision. And he's like, tonight was a dub. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he went in there and put on the type of fight he did, and in my opinion, won. It's a dub, and I'm not mad at him. He got the bread, too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure. He got his check. He went out there. He outboxed the best heavyweight in the world right now, and he beat his ass.
And I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to say what little birdie told me, but Anthony Joshua may be on the rise, and I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. France is in the boxing realm now, so you might see a couple of those matchups. But real quick, Speedy, tell us about Big Boy. Let's jump into straight Detroit Lions talk afterward.
Let me tell you about Lady Jane's. You can come into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right. No expenses spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Downtown's newest sports bar has 13 track meet simulators, certified instructors, and most importantly, a full bar and restaurant. It is 5 Iron Golf. Make sure you guys check it out at 5irongolf.com. Use promo code Woodward10 for 30% off your first visit and for 30% off their leagues. Again, that's 5irongolf.com. What up? Welcome back to Woodward Heavyweights Live on WoodwardSports.com. It's Detroit Lions primetime Monday Night Football against the Raiders.
The Oakland Raiders.
And it's going down, Spin. I'm guaranteed the dub. Matter of fact, hit the like button if Detroit Lions are winning this game. And if you don't think they're going to win the game, if you're a hater in the chat, if you're a Raiders fan, still hit the like button. How about that? All right. 5-star review on podcast platforms. You catch us over there. But, Spinny, Raiders have the worst, the lowest run game in the entire NFL. And as we know, it's been duly noted across the board all season long up until the Ravens game.
Yeah.
Detroit Lions have one of the best run defenses in the NFL. Just an easy recipe for success. I just don't really see the Raiders. I can't see them winning this game. I'm sorry. I hate when it feels like kind of I don't even know the word I'm looking for. Superstitious or whatever.
Not a little stitious.
Just a little.
Or not superstitious. Just a little stitious.
Yeah, just a little stitious when you say those things. But I just can't. I don't know. I can't visualize it in my head without anything crazy happening. Obviously, the injury reports: Frank Ragnow doubtful.
Yes.
Amon-Ra St. Brown will play.
He is playing.
I heard somebody earlier said that Jonah Jackson's not playing.
He is not.
So you got Graham Glasgow, I'm assuming, stepping at center. Mm-hmm. Big V was questionable. Is there any word on him?
I'm not sure.
Sheesh.
Sheesh is right. They're going to have to get it done. Obviously, all these injuries, especially to the interior offensive line, are very concerning. And like you said, some freaky shit's going to happen. Yeah. It's Monday Night Football. It's Devil's Night. We're in downtown Detroit. We're playing the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be some weird shit, but I'm confident in this Lions team. Like you said, this Raiders team can't run the ball worth a damn. The Lions have the second best run defense in the NFL.
Yes.
They're going to go out there. They're going to shut down the run offense for the Raiders. They're going to limit Josh Jacobs completely, probably completely remove him from the game. They are going to force Jimmy Garoppolo to sit in the pocket and beat them down the field. Now, it's not inconceivable to see this happening with the bevy of pass catchers that the Raiders do have, with guys like Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Hunter Renfrow, Mayer. They have a bunch of good pass catchers, but still, when you can completely eliminate one side of an offense, which the Lions should be able to do in this one, it just makes the defensive game plan so much easier.
Yes.
You can just go after Jimmy Garoppolo, who is not Lamar Jackson, so he's not going to be spinning out of sacks and running all over the pocket to create time.
Thank you.
If you get to him and put him on the ground, it's going to be a good recipe for success for the Lions.
A 1,000,000%. The other part of it, too, is like, okay, let's go to the other side of the ball. Let's look at the Detroit Lions run game. That's been phenomenal the entire year. Again, outside of the Ravens game. You can say that, Jahmyr Gibbs kind of only gave you something in the garbage time there. He did give you those 80 yards against the Atlanta Falcons. But the run defense for the Raiders is almost just as bad as the run offense for the Raiders. And obviously, Jared Goff is best served with a little bit of play action, with a little bit of whatever freaking word I'm looking for. I've gone out of my head. It doesn't matter. But the Detroit Lions run offense completely is kind of dedicated and just prompted off of that run. I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be able to put it on him tonight. I don't know about the 70 line that we saw on FanDuel and DraftKings tonight, but I put him down for 50-plus for damn sure. Mm-hmm. And on average, the Raiders defense is letting up 105 yards to running backs in every single matchup this year. 105 yards to the likes of, who's my man over there in Buffalo right now? I'm not a big, I like his brother, Dalvin Cook's brother. I can't think of his first name. James Cook. James Cook went for 128 on these boys. Like, I get we're missing some linemen, but I definitely expect the Detroit Lions to get a little bit of success running the ball against this Raiders defense, and that's how everything else is drummed up. I know Amon-Ra's a little bit sick, that he came, surprised on the injury report yesterday, but you got Jameson Williams. You got Josh Reynolds. I think Josh Reynolds has been more than consistent for you this year. His numbers in comparison were that of Jamar Chase's. Now, Jamar Chase had a day yesterday, but I think Josh Reynolds got just that today, too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Josh Reynolds can go out there. He's on my parlay. I'm not going to lie. I got Josh Reynolds to get 3 catches. I think he's going to have a big night. Obviously, Amon-Ra is back on the team. He is playing for the team this week, but we don't know what his role is going to be. Mm-hmm. He could be limited. He still could be, feeling the illness or whatever he was dealing with. So we don't know if he's going to be 100% ready to go, the Amon-Ra St. Brown that we're used to seeing out there. So these other guys are going to have to step up if he's feeling a little under the weather. That's where I look at a Josh Reynolds. That's where I look at a Sam Laporta. Yeah. That's where I look at these guys to go out there and make some things happen, because I talked about earlier in the week, or last week, it's only Monday, the biggest holes of this Raiders defense are their linebackers and safeties. So you can attack this team down the middle of the field, in the deep parts of the middle of the field, and that is spelling perfect assault for a Sam Laporta. If you get him on these linebackers, on these safeties, it's going to be a mismatch. He's going to get open, and he's going to make some plays. Yeah,
I think Sam Laporta, I saw him on DraftKings, I believe it was like 44 yards. He's going to get that?
Yes.
I think it's 4.5 receptions. Mm-hmm. You locking both of those?
Yes, I already did, and a touchdown.
I'm not sure about the receptions, but I feel good about the yards. The lock for me, if you guys are going to make some money tonight, the 2.5 receptions for Josh Reynolds. Not only has he done it in every single game, outside of the Atlanta game where he had the groin injury, but again, like you said, Amon-Ra's kind of banged up. They're going to be relying on him big time. I think he's had a couple first-time touchdowns, too, this year. I think he had the one on the road against... Did he have one? Yeah, he had one against the Chiefs, didn't he? Or I'm tripping. No, he didn't. There were only 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yeah.
Dave Montgomery and the pick 6. But it doesn't matter. I think Josh Reynolds would be one to put some money on tonight. And not even just for money, just for, I think, to help the Lions carry themselves to wins. And again, they've won games without Dave Montgomery. They've won games without Amon-Ra St. Brown before. They've won games without Jonah Jackson there before too. Like it's familiar territory for the Detroit Lions. Not just familiar territory in terms of like missing a few key guys, but also at home, in Ford Field, in prime time. I mean, Jared Goff MVP numbers at home this year.
And we already know that you have doubts about Gibbs' ability to run between the tackles.
Yes.
It's definitely going to be harder to do that if
Without
you have
interior
2
guys.
backup players in those 3 positions.
Yeah.
So expect to see a lot of sweeps, expect to see a lot of outside zones, some pitches away from Max Crosby. Like,
Yes.
going the other fucking way, because Max Crosby is the one guy on this defense that can wreck the game for you. So I expect them to push things to the boundary, to use Gibbs and his speed, get him out in space away from Max Crosby. And like you said, they need to establish that run, because that is Jared Goff's bread and butter, is the play action pass. They need to establish that run before they attack the deep middle third of this ball club, of this Raiders defense, where it's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
You can't just go out there and throw the ball at Sam Laporta every time, no matter how much I want him to. You're going to have to establish the run game. We'll see what happens with that interior offensive line, but I still think they can get Gibbs going if they use some creativity, which Ben Johnson has shown he is very capable of doing.
Now, I kind of wish there was some like more pessimism in this room, because like I want to hear what does make people nervous. I mean, the chat, if you're listening, obviously you guys are listening, but let me know what makes you nervous about this Raiders team. Because I even looking at Jimmy G, I get they played a few games without him now. He's had that back injury because the offensive line sucks. My guy Jeff, he's got a bet for you guys later on the night. I think it was kind of wild, but I could also see it happening. It just basically goes along the lines of Jimmy G getting sacked a lot. A bad back on top of that. I'm not scared of Brian Hoyer, but in the games that Jimmy G has played,
had 6 sacks against this team in
did.
one game.
He did. Where's the freaking game I'm looking for? That was against Aiden O'Connell, though, wasn't it?
I'm not sure.
I think his
Either
first
way.
time out. Either way, I'm looking at Jimmy G's numbers like while healthy, while in the game. 1,000 yards in this season, 7 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. They're just not great at all. He's played the teams like the Packers. He went 1 touchdown, 1 interception against. They're not great by any standard. I think their defense is respectable, though. The Steelers have a damn good defense. The Bills have a good defense, too. And the Broncos literally let up 70 points. Let me correct the 70 points. You heard that right, 70 points. And I know it was against the Miami Dolphins, but still, that's like record-breaking numbers. The defense is not.
They just held the Chiefs to 9 last night.
Yeah. And Jimmy G didn't do shit against them either. Like, I really, again, Chris, you raise your hand when you want to talk about pessimism. What are you scared about?
I'm not scared of anything. I'm just surprised that you're the guy that comes in here every single week and goes, I think the Lions are winning, but if they lose, this is how Jordan Love has a game.
Desmond Ridder.
Yeah, like
I just don't see it tonight, man.
Yeah, what is it that's different? Is it just simply the fact that they are so bad at the run game, and the run game is the key? And
Yes.
like
If the Lions...
I mean, us missing the interior lineman does make me a little bit nervous, but I still don't see it getting in the way of a win.
The biggest thing to fear in this game when you're a Lions fan is Max Crosby.
Yeah.
He is by far the biggest thing you have to fear. He is going to be the best player on the field.
Yep.
Period. Like, he is the best player on the field. And he can break games. He can go Mad Max, and he can take Jared Goff out a couple times, force a strip, get an interception, do the things he does that makes him a top 3 edge rusher in the NFL right now. So you need to look out for him. You need to account for him. You need to double him, chip him, line Brock right up on him every single play and have him chip him no matter what side he's on. I'm just nervous about what if they get fancy on defense and put Max Crosby in the interior pass rush. Because he could eat these guys up in the middle.
That'd be the move, right? If I'm a defensive coordinator and I have Max Crosby, which I feel like he's changed both sides of the line at the edge, but I'm talking about, like you said, interior, then I do get a little bit nervous. I mean, the Detroit Lions, if you watch when they don't do well, it's when they do have those like awkward blitzes coming out of the secondary. Yes. And that's already on tape, obviously, through the Ravens game. That could be something where the Raiders can take advantage of the Detroit Lions' offensive line and how good and depleted
especially
it is.
Without your signal caller on the offensive line. Yeah. Without Frank Ragnow, if he doesn't play, which I'm assuming he's not going to, not having him to be able to call out blitzes, to be able to check linebackers, check safeties, know where the pressure's coming from, it's going to make it a lot more difficult for the Lions' offensive line.
And offensively, that's huge. There's this thing they have, it's called I think it's called a quick play or quick tap or whatever the hell they call it, but it's from when you break the huddle, the entire offense counts down I think it's like 17 seconds, 16 seconds typically.
Yeah.
And there's no call. There's no height. There's no silent nothing. It's just, it is silent. But you just count down that 16 seconds from when you break the huddle, and you just automatically snap the ball. That's how they got off against a lot of those third downs against the Buccaneers a few weeks back. Right, without Frank Ragnow, I just obviously you have a little bit of concerns about the chemistry there and executing those same things. But again, I think when it comes down to like just getting this Raiders team in a phone booth and just punching them out and running the football down their throats, I think we'll still be able to do that. I think obviously whoever's going to start, it's probably going to be, I don't even want to say his name, Ayodi.
Yodi.
Yeah,
Just call him Yodi.
Yodi. You probably want to avoid running that way, but Glasgow's still a formidable run defender. I'm sorry, run blocker. Same thing with Big V if he does play. I mean, I think there's still ways to get the run game going.
Man, if it's Yodi, Glasgow, and Sorsdale though,
especially if they're trying to get exact with the blitzes and they're trying to come in like, just, all right, pause, but come on in. Like, I'm not going to use the word I was going to use. I don't have to say pause anymore, but I think
we need to see some blitz beaters. We need to see our guys get the ball, some screens to Jahmyr Gibbs, a screen to Sam Laporta, a screen to J-Mo when they bring that pressure, because they're going to. Because like you said, it's on tape now that the Lions struggle with exotic blitzes, with safeties, with corners, with linebackers coming in, especially in the interior of that offensive line, and now with 2, possibly 3 backups playing in that interior offensive line, the Raiders are going to dial up some creative schemes, some creative blitzes. So I'd like to see Ben Johnson have some blitz beaters in there, with it be a screen to one of our speedy guys in J-Mo or Jahmyr Gibbs, or even a tight end screen to Sam Laporta.
I mean, much like Dave Montgomery was, Jahmyr Gibbs is just as pivotal in this matchup for Detroit Lions. I mean, they're going to have to be able to run the ball because offensive guys don't have to be able to sit back there and give Jared Goff all the time of day to hit other guys open. But receiving-wise, one name we haven't mentioned is Jameson Williams. We'll talk a little bit about that when we get back, but not before I tell you guys about Fairway Packing Company, because for over 60 years, Detroit's finest restaurants, casinos, they've all been using one place, and it's Fairway Packing Company. You can visit them at fairwaypacking.com or give them a call at 313-332-5114, or just pull up on them at Grosse Pointe for some grab-and-go steaks. It's fairwaypacking.com.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel. Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Now, how would you like a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends. I think you would. Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Syntron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter for your chance to win. You can do that at drinkcintron.com/Vegas or buy Cintron at your local Meijer store. It's Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste for the people who desire to look good, feel good, and be the best versions of themselves. Go to drinkcintron.com/Vegas for more information.
Check it out.
Check it out. Double rip.
What up, though? Welcome back to the World of Heavyweights live on Woodsports.com. I'm your boy Easy Joe, my guy Spin More Rax.
What up, though?
Young Chris, JB Smooth. Smash that like button if you got the Detroit Lions getting the dub tonight against the Raiders on prime time Monday Night Football. We spoke about Josh Reynolds. I think he'll be pivotal in the receiving game tonight. Spoke about Amon-Ra, kind of concerned. We don't know what he's going to be in the game plan.
Amon-Ra flu game.
I think. The two guys I'm thinking standing out is Josh Reynolds, Jahmyr Gibbs, and I guess I'll throw Sam Laporte in there too for sure. Jameson Williams we haven't mentioned though.
Yeah.
I think his props are around like 25 yards, 25 and a half.
That's one catch.
But his overall effectiveness is in the game in general. Like you see him getting more than that. You see him getting that 25?
I do see him getting more than that. I do see him getting more than that 25. This Raiders defense is pretty weak when you look outside of Max Crosby. I know they've got Marcus Peters, but this isn't the Marcus Peters of old. This isn't your whore grandma's Marcus Peters. This is a Marcus Peters who's allowing a 65% completion percentage when targeted. He is giving up 107.3 quarterback rating when targeted this year. Like, this is a guy who's been getting got. Like, he's still a solid player, but he is a guy who you can beat. And I don't know where he's going to be lined up. I don't know if he's going to be shadowing anybody. I don't know if that's still his gig, if he's going to follow somebody around the field. But this is a secondary. This is a defense you can target down the field. And obviously Jameson Williams is that guy for this Lions offense. I expect Josh Reynolds to have a big game. I expect J-Mo to go over that 25 by a lot.
I get nervous with J-Mo, man. It's really hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? Like it's either he has those 50 yards and a tutty, or he has nothing, or he has like 2 yards. There's no in between. There's no consistency with it. And with us missing the offensive linemen, just not having our regular offensive line, which again is the top 3 offensive line, and Max Crosby being along that defensive line, I don't know if Goff's going to have the time to hang back there to muster up a deep ball to J-Mo, which he excels at the best. I know we talked a little bit last week, and I talked about it over the weekend with Lucas. A lot of people seem to think it's like a Ben Johnson thing, and J-Mo's not seeing these types of intermediate routes, but he is. But he's just not capitalizing on them. He's not capitalizing on the screenplays he's getting. He's not capitalizing on the slants he's getting. He's been hit or miss, and I just don't think with this offensive line, it's just not what I'm gonna play with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't throw in a parlay. I can definitely see it happening. Like you said, 25 yards is one catch for the man, but I don't have ultimate confidence in it. You know what I'm saying? Like the 2.5 for Reynolds is a lock.
Yes.
3 receptions or 2 receptions if you want to play it safe, a lock. There's only been one game this season he didn't do it again. That's like the groin game. That stuff I'm all down for. With J-Mo, I don't know. And again, I still have faith in him. I still think he'll be there. But tonight specifically, with the offensive lineman out, I just don't know if JG's going to have the time to utilize him the way he is utilized best.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see. We're gonna see, because they do have some. Obviously, outside of Max Crosby, though, they got Tyree Wilson.
Yeah,
that's a big nothing burger. Like, we have Tyree Wilson at home. We told you that.
Yeah,
before the draft, but.
And we have damn good tackles.
We have damn good tackles. We have the ability to supplement our offensive line.
Actually, now you do mention Tyree Wilson. That is a guy that can move around the defensive line and has done so, like both at the collegiate level, and I don't know if he's done it yet with the Raiders. But
I like my spot if I got Graham Glasgow and Big V going up against Tyree Wilson.
What about Yoda?
Graham Glasgow's next to him. Wherever he is, Graham Glasgow will be in the middle of it. So I feel safe with that at least. Hopefully Big V does end up playing. I still haven't heard any word on that if he is or not. But this team is they're gonna face some adversity, man. It's not gonna be this easy blowout. I think
it's not gonna be.
Everybody's putting out there.
That's like when it was like 8.5. I mean, if you noticed too, like the Lions come down. I don't know if that's from people like betting that like there's no way it's getting covered, or like the injury report becoming more affluent for the odds makers, or what it is, but I think it's coming down for a reason. I think it's going to be a closer game than a lot of people are expecting. Detroit Lions still coming up on top regardless, no matter what. How about we look at the defensive? I obviously talk about the run game. Pass game, you talked a little bit about too with Mayer, Adams. I mean, Jacoby Myers actually been having a hell of a season when it comes like touchdowns specifically. I think he's number 3 in the league. you expect AG to get some respect tonight? You think people will be ready to fire him again come Tuesday?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Obviously, it's hit or miss, these fans, and you never know. If they play a bad game, they're going to pile on AG. If they don't, they're gonna parade him and salute him. So we'll see what happens. But I think this secondary has enough in the back to be able to, I don't want to say lock down, but be able to stop these pass catchers to a degree. Because Devontae Adams still is Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers is a top 5 wide receiver too in the NFL. Like the way you look at the stats he's putting up and just his ability, his frame, his body control when he's in the air, he is a great receiver to have, especially as your number 2 option. So
Jerry Jacobs is back now too.
Yeah,
though.
Jerry Jacobs is back. We obviously have Cam Sutton on one side. I think Kirby Joseph is going to start rolling here. I expect Kirby Joseph to get an interception in this game. I think he's due. He's going to go out there. He's going to make a play. And Jimmy G is a guy that we talked about. He has more interceptions than touchdowns this year. He trusts his receivers to a fault almost because they are so good. He's going to throw some balls up there in risky situations, and I believe Jerry comes down with one of them.
Yeah, I could see Kirby getting one. I think Kirby's definitely
That's
due.
what I meant, Kirby.
Yeah. I took it as Kirby. I knew what you meant. Damn, I totally blanked on what I was going to say. Oh, Devontae Adams. Like, he's dealing with, it was an arm injury or shoulder injury. Obviously, he's dealing with that situation. I think he can still catch you. When that injury is fresh, he still had a decent game against, I think it was the Packers. It was at the time, and he's had some time to heal since then. But even if Devontae Adams does go off, and for people want to make bets too, flirt with that one if you will. The Detroit Lions still could prevail that. I mean, we had Justin Jefferson, arguably the best receiver in the league right now, break a franchise record for the franchise that housed freaking Randy Moss and Chris Johnson or Chris Carter.
Chris Carter, yeah.
Apologize. And we still won the game. For shit. We had Calvin Johnson.
Yes.
And went through mediocre seasons. Like, you could still have a wide receiver go off or have a big game. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win the game. Now, can it kill you in certain situations if the game's close enough? Yes. But I think the Detroit Lions defense will be disciplined enough to where that's not going to happen. Again, what's going to happen in this game, how I predict it defensively for the Detroit Lions, is that run game is going to get stopped. This is, again, the worst run offense in the league right now, and that's with Josh Jacobs back there. It's not no slouch back there. Detroit Lions run defense is doing damn well. They're going to do what they've done against every other bad team. They're going to eliminate the run where they have to pass every single play, and you have Aiden Hutchinson pin his ears back. You have Romeo Okwara, who's healthy now, pin his ears back. Julian Okwara, too, and they're going to get down. Josh Pascal's
back. He's
back
in.
Kaminsky's been kind of quiet.
Yeah. I think they're going to be able to eat on this Raiders offensive line. I think they're going to be able to get some pressure. You don't think those guys are pissed the way Lamar Jackson and the Ravens absolutely dog-walked them last weekend? Absolutely. Like, those guys are more angry than any of us are. I can believe you that. Especially Aiden Hutchinson being so close with so many opportunities but not being able to get to Lamar. Like, that's like just blue balls to the max. Like, imagine being right there, and you don't get to finish. Like, the man is going to go.
He's a man of principle,
and he is a man of principle, and he's got a hog, so he is going to go out there. He is going to take it out on Jimmy Garoppolo. He's going to feel the hammer on the leg because Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be on the ground a couple times in this game. I bet Aiden gets a sack and a half at least.
What's oh damn. By the way, once we get off here, it's going to be Jeff Ifrady, Neil Rule, the classic beef. Make sure you guys have him for that one. Booner's going to be in the Maz chair. They're filling in for the pregame tonight. The boys will be here. I'll also watch the stream live on top of that. But locks for tonight, in terms of like making money. I know we talked a little bit about the other day, but like, what are your like guarantees? Shit that you already put money on.
My guarantees, my locks. I like that Josh Reynolds, 3+ catches. I think that's a lock. I think that's going to happen no matter what. I think Jahmyr Gibbs over 25 rushing yard or 25 receiving yards. Yeah, that's going to happen for sure. And then I don't know if you can bet on it, but I would put Kirby interception up there too.
Kirby?
I would put Kirby interception up there too.
Lock. Like lock it.
Yeah.
I will lock a Jimmy G interception. I'm with you. I feel good about Kirby. He's due, man.
He's due.
And if you go back to the Ravens game last week, I think Coach told you this week or last week during the press interviews too. Kirby was the only performance you could single out and be like, he actually played straight. He saved our ass a few times in this game. Whether it's making a tackle or making a play. I didn't make too many plays on the balls at all, but he was the one bright spot. He feels due. My locks, I'm with you. That 2.5 for Josh Reynolds, whatever your unit total is, and that's like how much you're comfortable betting. Mine's are like $10. Lock it in.
Yeah.
Throw that 10 on that 2.5. And I think he's at 32.5 receiving yards, Josh Reynolds as well. I'll lock that in too because he's averaged, I remember a couple weeks ago it was like 16 per catch. It can't be too far off from that because he's still been balling.
I do have a parlay locked in on FanDuel. I used the 50% profit boost on it, so right now it's plus 35.65.
Yeah.
It's Sam Laporta anytime touchdown, Josh Reynolds 3+ receptions, Sam Laporta 4+ receptions, Sam Laporta over 44.5 receiving yards, Jahmyr Gibbs 25+ receiving yards, Jacoby Myers 40+ receiving yards.
I like everything but the touchdown. I just don't, but that's me. I don't like throwing touchdowns in my parlay. Although I cleaned up yesterday, but it was like single shots. One other thing I'd flirt with, I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Obviously, we talked about the run game. Again, you guys got a top 5, top 3 run defense in the Detroit Lions versus literally the worst run game in the entire National Football League. For some reason, they got Josh Jacobs at 63.5. Take the under.
Yes.
Take the under and feel confident in it, because not just you got our defensive line's healthy finally. Our linebackers been balling outside of the Ravens game. You're starting to get your not your number one overall pick, but your first round pick, Jack Campbell in there. He's getting active. Mm-hmm. Malcolm's seen a couple snaps now too. Obviously Barnes been on fire all season. And Alex Anzalone been on fire all season. That 63.5, disrespectful. It just is disrespectful. And if the Detroit Lions offense is able to perform, they're going to pin back the Raiders where they're going to have to throw the ball a ton of times to get back in this game.
Yeah, and for people saying I'm too high on Laporta or the Laporta thing is crazy for a run with that, he's only had one game this year under 45 yards receiving and only one game this year under 4 catches. And like I said, this this Las Vegas Raiders defense can get exposed in the middle of the field. Their linebackers and their safeties are weak. I expect Sam Laporta to have a big game.
What's big? Like give me a stat line prediction. Not your bet, but what do you think it'll be?
5 or 6 for 73 and a touchdown.
73?
73.
Man, I just want to mention this real quick. I told you a couple weeks ago that Reynolds was 16 yards per catch. Mm-hmm. I was like, maybe it's gone down. A few more games in the books, right?
No.
It went up.
He's only got one catch this year that wasn't a first down or a touchdown.
18 yards per reception.
Yeah.
Amon-Ra a little bit sick. He's a little quick route intermediate guy, too. He's one of the guys that Jared Goff loves to go to on third down when Amon-Ra's not there or not feeling himself. Locked at 34.5. I think I saw that. I might even go 40. He's getting that one for sure.
And run those Sam Laporta overs. I'm telling you guys, this defense is weak in the middle of the field. We don't know Amon-Ra St. Brown in his situation. Sam Laporta is the other security blanket for Jared Goff. He is going to eat in this game.
All right, here's my parlay. You gave yours. I'm give it on mine. And this other one I added in last night. I'm not. Maybe take this. I'll start with the one I don't like the most. Jared Goff, 2 touchdowns. Just because I could see Jahmyr getting some, whatever. Flirt with that one if you like. But Jahmyr for sure, 50+ yards. The under, 63.5 for Josh Jacobs. 25 alternate receiving yards for Josh Reynolds. That's a goddamn lock.
Yes,
I would even go probably
sure.
above that one. Sam Laporta, 25. That's an absolute lock. Like Spinney said, he only caught less than 45 yards once this season. Josh Reynolds receptions. And then, oh, man, I got ballsy. No, that's not that bad. Alternate rushing and receiving for Jahmyr, 75. Parlay that one's plus 650.
All right.
If you want to get down with it.
I like it.
But make sure you guys stay tuned for the pregame show with Jeff Five, Freddie, Neil Rule, and my guy Booner. Smash the like button on our stream now. Of course, when that one comes along too, go Lions, baby.
See you guys later. Peace.